Well, it is all over at Mbombela Stadium. MTN8 Wafa. Orlando Pirates 3. Stellenbosch iqanda. I repeat. Orlando Pirates ezimnyama ngenkani ezadla umhlaba kamasipala 3. And Stellenbosch iqanda. This is my views, my expressions. If this is your first time here, please do subscribe, share, and tell others that sikuphathele okungaphathwa abaningi. Speaking of okungaphathwa abaningi, I'm not alone. I'm here with them psychos.
Hey, good evening, bafethu. Ninjani siyaphila thina. Seme niyaphila nani?
Ayifakwa ola mthuthu leto.
What's this though?
Ayifakwa ola mthuthu leto. Awusakusibombulu.
So much noise about the Preseason Cup. This is the Preseason Cup, guys. We've only played almost 3 or 4 league games so far. And then there's a cup. So
it's a cup. They've won a cup. They've won a cup.
They'll win a final, but it's a Preseason Cup.
But are you saying this cup is not as valuable as other cup in the PSL?
If it's not a league cup, it's not an FA Cup, it's not a league. What is it? What is it? What is it? Huh?
It's MTN8. You need to qualify. You need to play and be in the top 8 for you to play in this cup. I don't know.
It's just a Preseason Cup.
Huh?
It's a Preseason Cup.
Be that as it may, but the Orlando Pirates have managed to win it 4 times in a row, and your team can only dream of such.
Can they do it with the big fish?
What's the big fish?
Nedbank Cup, the League Cup, Carling Cup, and the very big fish, the league. Can they do it with those?
Yo, guys, please do respond. Please do respond because I don't have energy for him. My only energy is reserved for celebrating today's victory. Orlando Pirates, in fact, too, we saw those beautiful substitutions. Moremi come in and get us a brace, and then Mabasa comes in and also managed to get a goal with an assist from the very same Moremi, who then takes the man off the match. But take me through the game.
It was a big game, bro. I won't lie. The pitch, the atmosphere, everything, even the pre-concerts. When
so much for a Preseason Cup, as we are saying.
It's sponsored by one of the biggest companies in the continent. So you expect such a spectacle in the pitch. So no surprises there. So yeah, it was a very good game. I think the teams came up with almost the same approaches, but slightly different there in the middle of the park, because Stellenbosch had Ulumchitalo Umthetheleli as a lone 6, and then ngaphambi kwakhe I think they had Umthetheleli and 288, while the Pirates had Unduli and Utalent as abantu abawu-6, with Utalent playing more as a 6 and also be having those offensive passes, and then they had Usipembule as a number 10 who was guided by these two in the middle of the park. So that's why you would see so much fouls being considered by it's either General Pilots or trying to make sure because the talent had a lot of tank pumping Usipombule, feeding him with the ball, marking for him whenever he loses the ball in the middle of the park, while Usitlandul was there to scan around and try and do all the clean work there and ensure Stellenbosch doesn't get a lot of balls in the middle of the park. We saw a lot of fouls there, and kudos, standout performance for me in the 90 minutes was Mthetheleli Mtiane with the battle that he had with Usipombulu, who was expected to have a good game, high in confidence, and coming from the national team. But we know Usipombulu is not a 90 minutes player. After 40 minutes, he can go to the bench and make notes and talk about everything. But he's not a 90 minutes player. That's why we saw today they only needed the substitutions to come in and change the game for them. So that was.
He's not a 90-minute player. Umjita had so much impact. It's not about playing 90 minutes. It's about the impact that you bring into the game.
What impact when they didn't get a goal from him as a number 10? They only needed the substitutions to break down the backline Stellenbosch. Other than that, there was him in the middle of the park trying to do turnovers, being marshalled by Umteteli and General Palace there in the middle of the park. Not so much of the impact, but for the crowd, it's good for the crowd because uhlezi dlala ibhola ngama-stats and to all those tricky moves, which are not so much effective going forward. Sibombule was known as a player odlala la center, trying to play center as a 6 or as an 8. But now I'm seeing my coaches are trying to give him so much responsibility as a 10. A very tricky position for a player like Usipombole. He will need to really pull up his socks if he is to make his name on that position.
All this because I forgot to that.
That's his job. Congratulations to him. That is his job.
Wow. We went to extra time and the score was 0-0. And then the extra time, Orlando Pirates comes in gun blazing. Tell me about that performance at the extra time.
Yeah, I think kuba tricky when you change any one of the backline players. Even to Atlambe, there's one element but when you change one player from the backline, making a substitution from the backline, there's always going to be a difference. A player like Eminyana, I think he had a good game, although going forward, he didn't have so much good passes and crosses either. But immediately when they took him out and they put in Umokoboti on his position, and Pirates on the other hand introduced Tepang Moremi and then also Nopolis, you saw a lot of difference on that flank with Police coming in from his side, and Umfugen now playing in between the lines where they had Usipombule in the first half and before extra time. And so you see now the interconnection between Tepang Moremi on the wings and Police, which led to one of the goals coming in from Ama wingers, which showed there was not so much tracking happening in between Ama fullback Stellenbosch and Ama centre back. I saw a ball where Utabo left the ball to goalkeeper there, Stevens, without checking. There was a player coming in around from him. I think it was a Moremi there, and then that was a goal. Same thing happened. They failed to track Iranga Gamabas. It goes around them. It's passed down to Tepang Moremi. Umabasa looks offside, but Moremi goes ahead of him, which puts Umabasa on side position. Still, they don't mark him. He only needs a tap in to go. Keeper is left helplessly there. So those tactical changes that happened, I think Pirates won the game from the bench today. It goes
credit to the coach.
Credit to the substitutions that came in. So
it is the coach that made the substitutions.
Credit to the substitutions that came in. So it goes on to show a player, a coach and the board of Stellenbosch, they really need to introspect themselves, because they always sell their best players to these teams, and these teams come back to haunt them. And I think this season they can only manage to make it first 11. Nakona kanzima. And then when you think about game changers, you have to scrape your head to game Stellenbosch. It becomes very difficult. They very limited in the players that they have. And with our injuries that come in from our player like Abu Mojela, who had a promising first half of last season and spent the entire season on injury, they should have at least got themselves 2 or 3 forwards to try and add numbers there up front. And then a player like Upans, yes, he had a good game against the Mazulu, and then he also had a good game against the Sekukune in the same final. But they need to pick up. You can't have one player in one position. Then that player, we are allowing that player to go 3 games of form as a ball, because there's no competition. So you need the competition there in the lineup of Stellenbosch. And on Pirates' side, it showed, which they now have it depth. They can change the game from the bench, because the game was very even in the 90 minutes. It's only when those subs happened, and most of those subs were people who are usually starters, but sometimes today they didn't start. So they have that hunger and they have image fitness to go. It's a final. They know what to do. They find the Stellenbosch defended 90 minutes long, and then coming to the second half. Coming to the extra time, they don't have abantu abazoshintsha the game now when he has energy going forward and creates more advantages for them. Then it was just like that.
Well, it's kudos to Orlando Pirates because it seems as if every season they get a cup.
Yes, congratulations to them.
And sesibona ukuthi moving forward, what is happening, because I think this cup and the whole magnitude coming with the excitement the cup can be implemented in the league and they could do well even on the league.
Oh, it gives the momentum for the league. So what does that mean about this cup?
What about that?
No, you just said now it gives momentum for the league. It has been concluded. We are now thinking about what is going to happen in the league. So it goes to show that it precedes the momentum of the league. Then after it, then you have to see who's going to win the league. It goes to show that this is a preseason cup.
Well, Orlando Pirates are the winners for the 4th time in a row, which your team have failed to do so.
What is my team? What is my team now?
Thank you so much for tuning in. If this is your first time, please do subscribe, share, and tell others that yadlemnyam.
Uyayisho lo msakazi lethu yakho siyadlemnyama.
Wena uthi
ngisiyadlemnyama.
siyabonga, we out of here.